Hard to believe it is week 3 of the month of May here at the Stafford Motor Speedway for the 2021 season, but that's where we're at. It's going to be another beautiful night of competition. All 5 of our weekly divisions are in action, and everyone's still talking about that SK Modified race a week ago.
Oh my gosh, Kyle, it was unbelievable. Steven Kopchik and Keith Rocco just going back and forth. Just a classic SK Modified duel, and you didn't know how it was going to be with that green-white checker. Was Kopchik going to be able to hold his own on the outside, but Rocco was able to pull it off at the end and get his first win of the year.
He's the 4th different winner in 4 races this season. That's how competitive and deep this field is, and still a couple of big names that have yet to win.
Ronnie Williams, Todd Owen, among others. You still got guys like Michael Jervis or Andrew Moeller. These guys, and Mikey Flynn got top 5 last week. So there's so many drivers that kind of sneak their way into that top 5, and you think, oh, they may not be that far away from getting their win as well.
The Michael Bennett Express was derailed in the late model division last week by a very familiar name.
I think you heard of him. Tom Fern, possibly. Over 70 wins at Stafford Motor Speedway. I think that was his 74th career win. First win in over a year. I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. It was a matter of when, not if, he was going to get back in victory lane. It didn't come easy, though. He had to hold off Andrew Moeller and Ryan Fern, who were right on his bumper, but those two battling each other let Tom pull away at the end.
Great night for the Fern family. Tom picking up the win, Ryan getting on the podium, and Alexandra consistent in the limited late models, and that's why she's the point leader.
Yeah, and she had to come back from a little bit of adversity, got caught up in a 4-car accident in turn 1 on lap 2, restarted 8th, half a lap later she goes up to 4th, eventually finishes 2nd. Just shows what that 12 team is about in the limited. They're obviously a championship contender, and we'll see though, because Rich Hammond has also been doing well. He came from the wreck on lap 2 to finish up in the top 5, so it may not come as easy for Alex as they may have thought, but you still got Jeremy Lavoie lurking. Matt Clement returned to victory lane this past week. He was very fast this year, and he's been fast the last couple of years. So there's still a bit of a question mark as to who may come out on top in the limiteds.
3 different winners in 3 weeks in the limiteds.
Yep.
Same thing with the street stocks, with Frank Latois getting that checkered flag last Friday night.
Another great battle. The street stocks have put on a show this year. Frank Latois, Travis Hydar, Chris Meyer, Nick Hovey, they've been the top 4 on a more consistent basis each week, and they just put a really nice show. Those are guys who have respected each other on the racetrack, and just, even though there might be a little bit of beating and banging, relatively clean, and it's just fun to see them put on a show. Frank Latois, a couple wins at the end of last year, back in victory lane this year, one of the championship contenders.
And we'll round out our preview with a look at the SK Light Modifieds and last year's champion in victory lane for only the 2nd time here in an SK Light at Stafford.
I think you mentioned the end of the 3rd place streak for Brian Sullivan. Yep. He's consistent, but he was really good this past week. It's a new car this year for that 11 team. He had to hold off Tyler Chapman, who's one of the cars that he works with during the week. So we'll see if he can keep it going. Derek Debus kind of got stuck in traffic this past week, couldn't quite get up there to the podium. It's a very competitive field, though. We saw a couple people come up to the front that we may not have seen the previous few weeks. Nick Anglace was running up there towards the front. Bassett's been up front for most of the season. You saw Amanda West holding her own up there and more. Peter Bennett came home with a podium. So these guys are just making this field more competitive, and it's always fun to watch these young guys duel it out in the modifieds.
He races at 6 o'clock, features around 7 o'clock. Join us here at the Stafford Motor Speedway if you can, and if you can't, we're live on Flow Racing, again, beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here from the famed Stafford Half Mile.